Hello everyone, this is Liz with Crafty Devotion, and we are going to be making these beautiful fabric clusters. They are made to look kind of like a flower, but you can use them as embellishments for any of your projects. So I hope this video tutorial inspires you to create your own. And we are going to start with this. This is a piece of scrap. I think I put it in one of the kits and I had a little piece left, and I want you to cut this into, begin by cutting choose any base. This is going to be the base. So I want you to cut a base and cut them into, like, this is the size of my palm of my hand. You can make them smaller than that based on what you're doing, but I'm going to take this, make it several different sizes, and I'll bring a ruler up in a little bit. All right, what I'm doing is I'm making a base. First, I'm making a base, and I decided I'm going to use this fabric pieces, and I decided I'm going to try and do more than one at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 of them here. Let me pull up a ruler so I can kind of tell you what size these are. These are about 3 inches. As you can see, there's no rhyme or reason. What I did here on this last one is I put a bunch of different ones together, and I'm just going to glue them like this. I'm going to do this. I want you to be able to do something and just not be afraid to try something. Okay, so this one is several pieces. This is just different ones. Okay, then I'm going to take this piece, which I have a lot of scraps of these. These are when I made the pink Christmas ornaments, and I kept all the little leftovers, and it's because it was a square first. Now you'll see that it has different shapes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and cut some of this off, and then I'm going to lay it on top like this. And you can cut it in different shapes and put more than one, or just a few. Do it any way you want. I'm just showing you examples so that you can be inspired, and you can realize that later on you can cut these more if you put them together and you don't like how it looks. My goal right now is I'm trying to make it kind of almost look like a flower roundish shape. And so these are going to be pink, so I'm just using pinks. I think on this one, because it's I might use a more solid piece. This one has, maybe this should be 2. Let me move this over. Now we have 6. Guess I layered that. So that's how I'm going to start. All right, next I'm going to get some of the little small pieces. And these are going to be, look how tiny and skinny these are. They're just little strips of tiny bits. And I'm going to actually just take them and choose one that's kind of sturdy and knot them together. Basically, these are just strips that have been left there. I'm going to do that to several of them. Let's see if I can knot this one. And I'm just going to put it in little knots because we don't want to, we want to use, I'm trying to show you different ways you can use, there's a little piece there. Okay, there's one, and okay, so I'm basically making a pile of several, and I'm just using scraps. This, for example, this is the edge of one of the laces, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as the bottom. Let me show you the one I made. It's going to be, so there's some dangling down, and you can make it as intricate as you want, but I'm just grabbing little bits and pieces and just put them in little piles. Let's see, that one has a lot. Okay, and then here's another little piece. Just cut it a little bit. There we go. I'll put one in this pile, this little piece in this pile, and I'm just going to grab any of them that seem sturdy. I put a little fabric in some of these, and that's just strips of fabric that were left over from whatever I was doing. And what I did was I just kept on saving, trying to save as much as I could remember when I remembered to save things. And I saved a bunch of scraps. And what I did is I separated them in colors. And so I have a bit of lavender, a bit of pink. I have quite a bit of red because I did a lot of ornaments. And there's a scrappy bow, very easy scrappy bow. And I did a lot of just different things. This one needs a piece of fabric, I think. Find a piece of fabric over here. Here, this one will work. So it's just a piece this was probably from a dress kit, or it could be a scrap from I make either the dresses, and I cut them into strips, or I could have put some of the fabric inside one of the lots that I made. I made a lot of pink. I actually didn't save all that. I basically had bits and pieces lying around, and I just was grabbing everything, trying to clean up my area. And reason I'm doing this is because I want you to know you don't need to go, and I lost the end. You don't need to go and buy a lot of things, and then you can do a lot with your scraps. That's pretty much what I'm trying to show you, that scraps you can still make something beautiful when you don't have a lot. And you can just, I'm just throwing these together. You can do this neater, but I'm going to try really hard not to keep on going out of frame, because I'm noticing that I've been doing that in almost all my videos. And so then I'm just knotting it, and see, that's almost like a little scrappy bow right there. And we're going to just add that to our piece, because I like to show you just different ways of doing things that kind of, and I'm just pulling it downward so it looks more like a scrappy bow. And like this one's kind of wide. I think I might cut that one up, which we can do it later when I use it. Oh no, it looks good like that. See, I pulled it. Looks nice. Okay, so I got a few here, and we're going to attach it to the piece. All right, I made a whole pile of these, and I'm just going to attach it to these. And remember, these are just like little clusters. I'm going to leave it hanging. Oh, if you notice this one, I made it kind of hanging, a bow. And so we're going to get that. I want that effect on the pieces. And so I decided to do this first because they're in the way. So I'm going to decide which direction I want it to go. I think for this one, I think I'm going to make it this direction. And now you can just put a little bit of glue on it, because what I do is just so it's available for me to move it around if I decide I don't like it, you go through and just attach it to your cluster. So this is going to be a flower cluster is what I'm making, and I'm also making them with a little bit of dangle, and I'm trying to show you just different ways to use things that and you can make it like really think about it a lot, or you can just toss it around. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mostly put them on, and then I'm going to come back and shape it even more based on however it looks like. I'll shape it more. So I'm doing 6 at a time. So this is what you're seeing, 6 at a time here. And I'm just putting it on there. I have one more over here. There it is. All right, then we're going to work on one, and I want you to, then I'll pause it, and then, well, that way you don't have to see like all my searching, but you can see some of it. So here, this is what I have so far, a cluster that looks like this. Okay. And there are a bunch of scraps. Oh, I'm missing one right here. Where's that one at? Oh, here's a piece. Let's see. Oh, here, it's right here. Look, I'll just come back, put this on there. Here we go. And I want it to go down that way, so it's right there. So as you can see, your base can be anything. It could be a piece of fabric. It can be something. I like to choose some of the thicker ones, and also something that's more solid or plain on the bottom, so you're not covering everything up that you have. And then you can go around, and for this one, I have this beautiful ruffle lace chiffon lace in my shop, and so I had a piece of that I use. I won't use it on all of them, but I'm just going to show you what it is. I'm actually really low on this piece. So this was actually the last of it. I'm going to probably reorder the pink, because I think the pink is the one that gets purchased the most. And I probably won't reorder others. So I'm on 2 of them. I'm going to go ahead and let's make this one the highlight that's right in front of me. Because you can see it was just a couple of triangles pieces. And I'm going to start shaping it more to look more like a round flower. And we're just going to keep on using scraps. And although I have a lot of this, and I could make a whole big old full flower with it, I'm going to use it just on the edge there. And we'll make these 2. This one's a really short one. The flower is a lot, the thing I made is a lot shorter. I can still add more scraps to it, but this is what I'm going to do. So we're going to make these ones the main ones, and I'm just trying to show you that you can do this, a lot of them at once. So we're going to put a little bit of this on there. I don't know, I think I'm going to use 3. I like to do things in 3s. 1, there's 3. And I'm going to add that over here to the other side, I think, like that. And this will add a little bit of elegance to it, right there. We're going to put more on top of it, so it's kind of like the bottom of it. So like I said, I have a lot of this just because I started a clearance section in my shop of laces and trims, and I put several items in there that I'm not planning to restock. They're beautiful things, but they're just not selling as they've been in my shop for a while, and I want to replace it with other things. So then I have some of this, but a lot of you have seen this. I ended up one of the things when I do purchase laces is that sometimes there's flaws in them, and I try to take most of the flaws. Somebody wanted 10 yards, and I cut it up, and I saw that there were some flaws, and so I had to cut it in different places for my customer. So let's take a piece of that and add it. I'm just gonna, and I showed you last time that I like to leave these on there and stretch them, and then it gives it more flare. Kind of gave you a little rag. And then I'm just going to add it right in here. And I'm using everything of it. I'm not throwing it out or. So here we go. So see, that's lovely, and it's kind of showing through the other one. I just lost the other one. Here it is, this one. I'm stretching it just to give it some shape and body. Okay. We're going to put it right here. And I know I'm going to put something on top of it, so I'm just laying it like that. Look at how pretty that one looks. So, yeah, I'm going to make my next choice next. All right, this is a strip of a gingham fabric that's pink and white, and I cut it up because I was going to make a flower out of it, so it ended up in the scrap. And you can make a flower out of them by, I've shown you the puff flower and how to make a puff flower, but we're going to just use a little piece of it because sometimes you have little pieces that you're left with because you cut them off, or you just have a little piece of fabric. And all I'm going to do is, just like a flower, like when we do the flowers, I just took 8 of the strips, and you're just going to roll it, and it's going to be, just add more texture to your piece. And I'm just going to put glue like this. And look, so it's like a little mini flower. And we're going to add that. How about something like that? That look okay on that one? I'm going to do that to both of them. So in other words, you can use pieces of any fabric and prepare it like this. What this is this is just fabric, about 3 to 4 inches strip that I folded in half, and then glued the edges together and snipped it. So if you want to see how I made this, it's just, you just need to find my my puff flower tutorial. I have a puff flower tutorial. So you can see I'm gonna make it go this way on this one. Glue this one on. There you go. There we go. Now it's starting to form, and from here you can snip more. You don't have to leave everything on. You can, you know, this looks fine coming down this way. This looks good. And now I'm going to go ahead and just I grabbed a bunch of buttons. So I want you to use any buttons. So I have a bunch of buttons. I have even more buttons than this. I just don't use them very often. I need to use them more. So as you notice on this one, I put a button on it. I decided I'm going to put buttons. And so I'm going to grab a button. I'm thinking, oh, this one looks good. Pretty. It's white. And here is a small one. I'm just going to choose any buttons. So I'm planning to put a button on here. Okay, now when I separated all my stuff, I also made a little container over with a lot of the little embellishments that I could put on multiple things. So here I have a few cameos because I have a customer who orders my brooches and she wants me to remove the cameo because she wants to fill it with her own. And this one's chipped, but I removed it, and I'm going to use a couple of those, I think. Maybe a big one and a little one, just so you can see the difference. And I'm going to choose little things from in here that I can add. I have beads, so I might be able to add some beads. Have little flowers. I'll see. I have, yeah, little flowers from there. Here's these. So we can put those as centers. We can add a little white to this, or you can choose whatever base color you want to add. So I have this beautiful trim. I have a stack here of more white here, so I can add a lot more white, but I just made a bowl where I put any of the little, like this is from when I put in, these are vintage and they're made out of ribbon, and I found them in my thrift store, and I put some of these inside one of the oh, that's pretty. Okay, I put them inside one of the lots. I think I put them in some of the lots I made the last time I did it. There's a lot of glue on here, but I think I'm going to go ahead and try and put this button on. I'm going to sew it on. You don't need to sew yours on. You can just glue it on. But what I'm planning to do with these is I'm going to probably, I'm going to try this time. I said last time I was going to put it in my shop, and I never did. But I'm going to try this time. We'll see. But so putting a little thread on it will help that button to stay on. Plus it adds, I also like that it adds like something on there to keep whatever I might want to put on it. Like that other one I did sew it. And I'm using really thick thread, so I'm only putting a couple little stitches. So it's up to you. You can just glue that straight on. I'm going to glue the other one on probably. Now from here, I made the base, and then I'm going to start adding if I want to add more, or I can stop. And if I like that, then I can leave it like that. It looks gorgeous to me. You can also, one of the things you can also do is like this type of trim, you can do this to spread it out more. Or you can take it and put a little flame to it, and it gives it more more texture. See that? It just makes it look beautiful. You can do that with the synthetics. Be careful with flame though. So here we go. Now I'm going to decide, okay, I think I'm going to put something else on there. I'm going to put this little piece. This is a little teeny tiny scrap doily piece. So I'm going to put this on there. And I'm going to put it here in this corner, right here. Just to add it. On this one, I think I'm going to put the flower right here, the rose. And again, I'm still putting just one dab of glue. And now, what do we use the snippets for? We use these. You can use them after you make them to put on any of your projects. If you're making a pink project, you're making, this is a little piece of I think I put this one on one of the ornaments too. And it had glue behind it to keep it from messing up. I'm going to put it right here on top. Okay. So, I think I'll put the button right here. And this time I'm just going to glue it. Okay, and I think I'm going to also place a cameo right here, one of my cameos. And now I do have cameos in my shop, but I don't have just the plain ones. I have them where they have a little setting in them, and some are more pricey than others. I also have African American sets with a little African American one in there, and I did those because I had a customer who was requesting that. So from here, you can make this as elegant as you want. I was looking for my first one I made. I don't see it. You're going to add whatever you want to this. And what I'm going to do is I showed you basically how I did it. Now I'm going to go ahead and keep on expanding on those and make a couple more. But those of you who kind of just wanted to see what I do, well, that's pretty much what I'm doing. And then I can take this and I see this hanging out and I'm like, ooh, I want to add some texture to that. Let's see what happens if I pull on it. Look at it, made it look more finished. And you can do that to any of your laces. You can manipulate them. This one that was a little wide, I think it was looking good, but I think I am gonna trim it thinner so there's some rag look on it. Yes. And let's see, where does it need something? What do you guys think? Right here, I don't like that this little seam is showing, so let's we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll make this the 5th thing we put in here. We're gonna put the little heart right there. So whatever little scraps you have, I have this heart one, and I added another heart one. I think the price might be a little bit lower on that one, but there you go. It's a little cluster of ready for you to add to your project. You can actually add, now after I do this, I add more glue as needed after the fact, because I do so much layering. Sometimes you need to put it in the layers. And I like these little flowers. I have some of these little flowers in my shop too. So most of the things you see here are pieces of things that I have in my shop. Like the fabrics, those are in some of the craft kits I have. I have a pink one. I still have some left in my a pink one. So, and I see this falling. Of course, I'm going to put more here. So you can see that now that I have some sheer things underneath, it just, there. And this is my cluster flower for a pink one. Let's do it. I'm going to finish this one up now. It looks pretty. I wonder if I can put a cameo, the small cameo off to the side. And that would look kind of cute. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's the best place for it if I'm going to put it on. Okay, I'm going to put it on top of that. Oh, I need more glue. All right. So then after that, we're going to take one more all the way through, because I know I started the bases, and oh, that one's pretty. Okay, now I'm looking at it to see if I want to do other things. Like this one, I'm going to stretch and pull. Same with this one. Oh, it came off. That's okay. If you feel like you want, what you could do though is realize that you can add even more to this. I'm going to go ahead and take a different flower. How about this flower? Let's add a little bit of this. So, and you can buy this. So, you know, this trim right here I have in my shop, it might cost $5, but if you're a crafter, you don't have to use the whole thing as a trim. You can, but you can also use little bits and pieces of it to embellish, and it gives such a cute little extra touch to things. I just love it. I'm going to take a piece of this. This is one I made for my ornaments, and I used that on my ornaments. This was a little not enough for an ornament, so I'm going to trim it off. Add it right over here, I think. Yeah, it adds a bunch of beads, covers up that. I'm going to put it right under as much as I can, the button. sort of, because I want that flower to show. Put some glue there. Okay, so I'm adding. Oh yeah, that's pretty. So this is a little piece of a scrap of another lace that I have in my shop. And it's embroidered piece. And it adds beauty. So here you go. And let's see if I want to add, yep, I want to add something right here. And I'm going to take a scrap of something. Oh, I know. Tulle. This is a soft tulle. Now you can just take a little snippet of it here. And it stretches this way. And you can take that and you can make it into a bow. Like that. And just add it. See, it adds a more softness. I feel like I want it to be shorter. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut that knot off. And I'm going to use both of them together, and I'm stretching it, then I'm going to twist it like this. I want to add softness to this section, and I'm going to put this underneath the button. That's why it's good for you, even with the button when I sewed it on, I can put things underneath it and give it some texture. So there, we added some softness, and I still feel like I want more pink back there. Let's see, what do I have? Have a piece of a scrap of this. Grab a piece, and I'm going to put it underneath it right there, so I can add a little pink to the behind it. Oh, that's not working well. Can you guys see? Oh yeah, I hadn't paid attention, so I'm just crinkling it up with my hands. There. Now I have softness. Now another thing you can use if you have any feathers. I've told people before, sometimes for my feathers, I like to just buy from the Dollar Tree. They have little boas in the kids section for kids, and I'll use those for my feathers. Which I don't have any out right now because I didn't use them that much this year. But there you go. There's another one. It's lovely. You can add more tassels. If you want more tassel, then go ahead. Add more tassels. Find any pieces, or maybe you already have some lace. I'm looking around to see if I have any lace or fabric. I'm going to go ahead and add more so I can show you. So here I have 2 more. And I prefer to not just have it single. I think I used to do them single when I first started crafting, but I like to knot them together. That way they're a little more firm. So I'm going to add more tassel here. You don't need to have tassel. You can cut these shorter, or you can leave them as a little tassel. But again, I like to show you different ways to do things, and different effects using what you have. You see that? Okay, so that one's gorgeous. And again, I would go through and just decide if I want to glue a few more pieces down before I'm done with this one. Okay, so here's one. And where's the second one? Here, the second one that we did. So as you can see, they're totally different, but yeah, you know, we did the same. So now we're going to go ahead and make the other ones, and I'm going to go slower. And those of you who want to hang around can hang around and watch as we do. That looks like I have 4 more, and I liked you to see that I used just an X of fabrics on this one, and how I put the more plain fabric to the bottom. And I'm going to stop this video, and then I'm going to do another tutorial, but I'm going to show you maybe one with lavender or something like that, because I wanted to use up the pink. I really want to use some of this. This is another trim I have in my shop. I try to have things that you can cut apart, and they're beautiful as is, or you can use them. And this one happened to be on my table probably because I cut it for a customer. Sometimes I'll put things on my table that have maybe a little stain on them, and then I'll cover up the little stain, or you know, something's wrong with it, because I have my own shop, so I do sometimes don't send something if it has a big stain on it, or because sometimes the runs are like that. So I'm putting these aside because I'm gonna probably use those. And then I have you guys saw me use this trim and this gimp in my bird ornaments, and this was all wrinkled, so I'm gonna cut it off. I'm going to cut this one in 2 pieces. And as I told you, this stuff unravels. I'm going to unravel it purposely. And I want to show you because this stuff is so beautiful and versatile. I'm going to use that as the movement, some of the movement in my project. So easy to manipulate it. Don't throw away these all wrinkled ones. I could have ironed that, you know, and used it, but I knew that I put it on the side. I stopped making the pink ones, so you can do it as much as you want. And this one I'm going to use as part of the tassel, I think. Probably glue this up. Okay, there's 2 of those. And what else do I have over here? Now, you can also add more than just that color, like the pink. I have this in my shop. It is a pastel net type of lace, and it's embroidered. As you can see, it's beautiful. So you can fussy cut these things out. You can use the beautiful trim, and this has a big wide section, as you can see. So you can go along here, trim this down like right above there, and use it as a trim. So what's cool about this is that it's versatile. So you can go through and cut the whole thing and then use this bottom as a trim, and then use each one of these as a different. Now you can cut this as close as you want to each other, or leave it as is. I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to cut this little one off, this piece that was on the end. I'm going to actually cut some of this off and use this too. So this one, also the other thing you can do with this is that it's so wide here that you can cut it straight and then make fabric, make what is it called, flowers out of it too. So as you can see, this one is gorgeous, got a piece. And I'm going to do this to it. I'm going to just, instead of fussing cutting all the way around it, I'm going to do this to it. Go through, and I'm just cutting the netting. Okay. And then I'm going to take that netting and I'm going to stretch it and pull on it. Let it tear if it wants to tear. What I'm doing is I'm giving movement to my flowers and to these beautiful things. Now you can use it any way you want. Like I might cut this in half. Let me try cutting this in half. There you go. And yeah. So let's do that. So the next video, I'm gonna do a couple of lavender. I think maybe lavender and pink. And there you go. That's pretty, huh? All right. So I'm adding some pastel colors to it. Okay, where's this? I forgot about my other one I cut up. Strings. I took this and I'm gonna just give it movement here. Add it. I think I'm gonna put it here. And all I did was just make sure that you have all those pieces. I'm gonna put the glue on here. Be careful. I did notice I have a little finger thing. I'm always losing them. That's why I never use them. These little things. This one's from the Dollar Tree, I think. Yeah, there you go. Added that. Now I can add this. I add it maybe right there. All right. So as you can see, you can do so much with scraps. So much. And these are going to look gorgeous. You could, I think the last time I made this, what do you use all these snippet things for? You know, you might be asking. And what you can do is these are like embellishments you make ahead of time from your scraps. And you can place them on any of your projects. So I think I'm going to place this white on top. Think white? Maybe not. Let me see if I have any more pastel colors over here. I put a few pastel things over here. No, I didn't have that much pastel. Oh, here's a little blue. Oops, where'd you go? All right, I did find a little more blue. There was just a little. I had this scrap. I think I put a piece of this beautiful embroidered fabric into one of the lots. Or it could be from an older lot. And then I have this, which I do carry these in my shop also. And I probably took it out to use for something and didn't use it. And I'm going to make that my center. So totally different. You can do more or less. Like I said, here I don't like the way this is sticking out. So you can either cut it off and shape it, or again, like I said, do this and then shabby it up a little more. So because I like movement, you can also take like some of these pieces and then change how the edges look. So you can take these and do the kind of like a do-ribbon. What's it called? For some reason I can't remember what it's called. But you can shape them a little different. Take off the square edge from those. And then this trim that we added down here, you can see it's coming apart and it added some softness. I don't know. I think I'm going to take some of this softness that came out of that and cut it shorter because it stretched really long. And I'm going to add the softness of this underneath here. Where do I need softness at? Don't need that much on this side. I'm going to do that. So it's almost like adding a yarn because it did come apart. And it came apart in the glue. So let's put that back in there. Go in there. Okay, so there. All right, so that's another one. And again, just keep on going. On that one I didn't add this, so I'm going to add that on this one of these. And I'm just going to put a little glue here and add it on this side because I want it to stick out. And you can make these smaller. They don't have to be as big as I'm making them. You can make them a lot smaller. Try to decide. I guess I'll use this. Looks like I started cutting this off. That's okay. It's going to go fine right there in the center. And like I said, we're working on little layers. Let's see what else I have out here. Here's the other one I made. I'm just looking around, see what I have. I have a little piece of bead, and I'm going to add it underneath something. See if it can get it to stick out. Over here, I think, right here. I'm going to put it underneath this little, come on, it's a flat back, so I need to make sure it's up. It was just a little scrap left over, and let me make it stick out. There you go, a little piece of bead sticking out. Now let's see, I'm going to place this piece here, but I think I want to do some cutting on that to make it look finished. Sometimes finished could mean just changing the way it's cut, you know, type of a look, and that's not straight. Make it, shape it. You could cut it out. You can cut the whole butterfly type thing out, or just shape it. I like to shape it. We're going to put you right about there. Okay, I hope this helps you to just take your scraps, do all kinds of things with them. You can, you know, using the little pieces to different colors. If you want to add another color, you can add another color. You can use these things in, like this one. I'm going to add it below here, you know, along here, so it gives it more shabbiness. I'm going to do it a little bit because I was thinking I might be too long. Okay, there you go. Uh-oh. So now I'm adding a lot of little embellishments, and now we're going to take a piece of this. Stretch it, and then I'm going to twist it. I got two pieces twisted together. It kind of looks almost like a bow. I'm going to take this twisted part, add it here underneath this. There we go. Oh, there we go. So now to me, I'm gonna go back. I think it's got a lot in it, so I'm gonna go ahead and it's got a nice body. You can add more color. You can say, well, I want to add more color to it, and then that's where you can grab a piece of fabric if you want. And this is a piece of fabric that's left over from some of my projects. And I don't know, what am I gonna do with this one? I know. Let's see. Fold it up like this and put it in. Now I'm adding some color. I don't think I'm going to do that, but let's see. Do something different. I didn't like it. I'll do a combo like that. Just a piece. Of course, you can cut these neater. I'm just kind of doing it kind of fast, just showing you, you know, so a lot of the things I do, I enjoy using what I have when I create, because it kind of gives you a limit and forces you to be creative. It forces that creativity out of you when you do have limited supplies to create something. And I like that. So let's do embellishments. Let's see, I could add peach. Here's another cameo if I want to add a cameo. Oh, here's a little rose I found. I think that'll look pretty. That rose. I can add something like this to it, which these I used for one of my ornaments that I made. But I think I'm going to utilize this because I don't know if I have these listed in my shop, but I have a lot of them. And this is peach. It's like a dusty peach. Rusty, dusty. And again, it can add, I like to take it apart because it's actually a vintage one and it's fabric. So it can add a lot to your piece. So you can see I can change the colors that I have in there by using something like this. Just a little piece. And it doesn't have to be, I try to keep these a little flat, because the reason I'm keeping them flat is because we want to use these like in our junk journals, things like that. There you go. Should I put another flower? Oh yeah, that's pretty. Can go there. So this is just one that I have. I don't know why it's out, but I do have a few of these. They're not in my shop though. I think that other people will supply those. You can even buy something like that at Walmart. So I don't need to supply them for you. Now, I feel like I need something here to make it look like a flower. I'm just going to pick up what I find here. Take a piece of this, add it here. Okay, well, we're about winding down because I can do this forever. I enjoy doing this type of thing, putting things together. So I am going to try and actually make a few more and place them in my shop. We'll see if that happens. Like I said, I keep on saying I'm going to do it, and then I just never do it. So here's a little vintage flower. I do have vintage florals like millinery in my shop. Yeah, this is one of my favorites. I do have this in my shop, and like I said, you could cut it apart and use it. It's easy to cut apart this one, and it won't fray. There, that's pretty. All right, there's one more, and this is Liz's Crafty Devotion. And to find my shop, I usually have a link in the description box. And if you want to see more videos like this, I appreciate it if you just share the videos, you comment on my comments, so that I can show up in the algorithm and it's worth me what I'm doing. And I will talk to you guys next time. I hope you were inspired to create your own designs.